Today I'm going to show you how to animate this fire in Moho Pro 13.5 using a PSD file and a raster image switch layer. Hey, my name is Jeff. I'm a queer, non-binary autistic artist who makes comics and animations. Let's get into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to Pexels Video. So if you go to Google and type in Pexels Video, it will come up in your Google search. Pexels is a royalty-free image and video site, so you can grab videos from here without having to pay for them, which is great. Occasionally you do have to provide attribution, which is just common courtesy, but not always. So what you're going to want to do is find a video of fire with a black background, and the blacker the background, the better, because we are going to be removing it in Photoshop shortly. So this is the video I ended up going with. So we're going to download that. It says, say thanks to Summon Error by giving them a small donation. I don't have a small donation to give at the moment, but I will shout you out on this video. Thanks, Summon Error. So now what you're going to want to do is import the fire video you just downloaded into Photoshop. So if you open Photoshop, go to Open, find where you saved the file, which is probably into Downloads. It will open it. Then you are going to want to go over and click on the layer, right-click on the layer, and go to Convert to Smart Object. This will allow you to apply filters to the entire video. So you're going to go up to Filters, go to Filter Gallery. There it is. And the filter you're going to want to apply to this one is the cutout filter. This is going to make it easier for us to remove the black background. So now this is what our fire video looks like with the cutout filter on. And so what we are going to do is we are going to find we don't want the whole thing. We just want a few frames, because if we use the whole thing, it's going to take forever to do. So we just want enough frames. You want to find enough frames that the last frame is going to be similar enough to the first frame that it will look like a smooth transition when you flip back to the beginning. So for this one, it was the first 13 frames. By the 13th frame, it is close enough to the shape of the first one. You don't want it to be exact. It's close enough that it's not going to look weird when it cycles back to the first one in the switch layer. So now we have made the cut in Photoshop. We've deleted the rest of the video, and we are going to go to Export Video, and you're going to save it somewhere. I'm going to save it into the tutorial file that I have all of the master files for this tutorial in. I'm just going to name it whatever you want, fire video with filters, so you don't get confused with the downloaded version if you're saving it to the same spot. Whatever you want. Now you're going to close this file after it's exported. And you're going to want to open the video you just exported. Now you have a very quick clip. It's only 13 frames long, and that's okay. You're gonna want to. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the beginning of the clip. You're going to go to Select, and then you're gonna go to Select by color range. You're going to use the eyedropper tool to select the black, and you're going to delete it. And then we are going to have to go and do this to every single frame. So all 13 frames we're going to do this on. We're going to go to Select Color Layer, eyedropper tool to the black, and delete the black. And because this is going to take a really long time to represent on film, we're going to speed it up. So we're just going through, again, just select by color range, eyedropper tool to the black, delete the black. Over and over and over again for all 13 frames. Once we have the black background removed, what we're going to want to do is clean up the image and then smudge the fire. So you're going to want to use the eraser tool to erase anything that is not part of the main body of the flame, or any little flames that are flicking off the flame. You'll want to keep those probably, but so there was still part of, like, it looked like the wood that was still at the bottom there, so we erased that, and we're just going through and we're smudging the image so that it looks like paint strokes. And we're gonna again do this to every single frame, so I'll speed that up, but we'll leave this one as normal speed so that you can see the process. I'm just going around, I'm smudging the entire thing. Colors are running together, it looks very painterly. Okay, so that's the first frame. Now we're gonna just go ahead to the second one, and we are going to again erase that and smudge it all up again. So we're gonna speed it all up for you so that you don't have to sit through the entire process, because you get the point. So once everything's smudged, you're going to want to go back to the beginning, and then we're just going to export the video as it is, but we're going to export every single individual frame. So you're exporting as PNG. Find the file where you want it to be, and just title the files as you're exporting them, number them 0, 1 to 13. And we're going to click ahead to the next frame, do it all over again. We're going to speed this process up so you don't have to sit through the whole thing. And that's how you get the individual frames for your raster file. So the next thing we're going to do, now that we are actually in Moho, is we're going to make the particle system for the smoke. So I'm going to import 2 smoke particle images. I drew these images in Procreate. They have Procreate has a really good smoke brush, and it makes fairly realistic looking smoke. Not that smoke for a cartoon needs to be realistic, but for this particular one it did. So I made these in Procreate and importing them into Moho. I'm going to create a particle layer, and then I'm going to drag and drop the 2 particles into the particle layer. So now that those are in the particle layer, I'm going to open up the properties of the particle layer by double clicking it. I gotta put my thing back to 0. And we're going to go all the way over to the far right particle tab, and we are going to adjust those dials so that they're both facing up, and then the smoke goes up a little bit, and it looks pretty good. So we're going to apply that, and now we will we're going to go into the actual flame animation now. So we're going to go general import. We're going to go over to where we had saved our images for the fire animation. It's the 13 frames made in Photoshop. There they are. We're going to open them, and we're going to group them into a switch layer. So you can just scroll down to the bottom one and shift and hold. It's going to select all of them, right click and group with selection. And then you're going to go up to the top again, and you're going to select create switch. There it is. So create switch layer. This will mean that only one of them is showing at a time. You change through the switch layer by right-clicking on it and then selecting the next one. So we're going to go to the very first one, and we are actually going to do these at 12 frames per second. So rather than having, I tried doing them 1 per frame, and it goes by too quick, and it looks less realistic to have it go 1 frame per second. So we're doing every 2 frames we are gonna switch it, and that way it just looks a little better. It's not as physically smooth, but it actually looks more fire-like in the final render. So every 2 frames we're just going to go through. We're going to select the next one in the series, and when we get to frame 13, the one after that is going to be 1, and you just keep rotating through them for the duration of however long you need the fire to be on screen. And you can actually highlight these, Control C and Control V at the frame you want, and it'll just recycle through them. You can assign a smart bone to this, so that the smart bone does it automatically. This gives you more control over it. With the smart bone, you can't always guarantee that it's gonna select through them at the exact frames you need. But there we go, there's our fire animation. And when put into the scene, doesn't look half bad. Looks pretty good. I ended up lightening up the smoke for the final render. I went back in and made some different smoke particles, but boom. And now you know how to make fire and smoke particles and can use it in your animations too. Good luck. I'm Jeff Baker Draws. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that follow button, and follow me at Jeff Baker Draws on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads for art tutorials, animations, process videos, and autism advocacy. See you next time.